Welcome to Tokyo. It is a beautiful sunny day, Sunday, and just a couple of days ago, Japan had some police on the road, in particular in Osaka, in the cities, all over the place. But in the national news, they were showing Osaka the most. It seems like they might have the most of these crimes. But there's been an increase of smartphone users on bicycles and an increase in accidents. And you can see I've stopped my bicycle to do the live stream. You're not actually allowed to ride a bicycle with a smartphone. And this is like common sense sort of stuff. But Japan has been debating this for quite a long time, and they finally now have some laws on the books, and they're very, very strict. This is a good thing. It also signals that possible bigger changes coming in society having to do with certain things like walking with a smartphone. I can see some penalties probably coming down the line because everybody seems to be doing it. Now, the news media here in Japan has been, I'll show you this article here for a second, and I want to show you the information here. But you can see the police were out all over the country. You can see bicyclists having to line up in the bicycle areas to talk to police officers so that they understand the new rules, the new laws. This is hitting the national news for the last 72 hours and a couple of days before November as well. And the rules are pretty strict. And you can see they're showing the stations here in Tokyo. There's so many people walking with smartphones. I see people walking into light posts. I see people walking into other people. But the most annoying thing is that people are taking a lot longer to get off of subway platforms because they're just literally reading their smartphone and they're walking like a zombie, and it holds up a line of people behind them. So I'm guessing that this is the next thing on the chopping block. And just because you're a tourist, you're not immune to this. They had some citizens here in Tokyo that were also talking about this and giving their impressions, and many of them say this is a problem. The news media actually filmed on this news report. They actually filmed, look at this also impacts Uber delivery trucks and bicyclists and things like that. Look, they actually filmed a dude, I don't know if that was staged, run into a high school student. This is happening more and more. In fact, when I got my bicycle, the Yodobashi camera, my bicycle before this, for like a very small price, I was able to get like up to $1 million insurance in case I hit somebody and they lose their life. I don't know if it's still valid, but I signed up for insurance on my bicycle. But you can see here in the graph that over the years, since the smartphones came out, traffic incidences because of smartphones have just been trending up, and they get on the authorities to get on the horn. And this story is more than just the bicycles. For you that are tourists or coming here to move here, I want you to understand a little bit how Japanese society works. They're very reactive based on when things like this happen, and more so maybe than other countries. But when they do come down, they hit hard usually, and the penalties look pretty hard. We'll see if we can come back to this news broadcast in a second here. But the penalties for mobile phone use while cycling or cycling under the influence of alcohol, so it's a double whammy here. Mobile phone use, 6 months, 100,000 yen fine. In cases where phone use has led to an accident, 1 year, up to 300,000 yen fine. These are the worst of the worst, and it could even be more. These are like sentencing mandates. Basically, if you are using a mobile phone, there's an increasing chance that you're going to be fined because of when they do a media push like this, the police, and when they are stopping people and using manpower to hand out flyers, that means they're really serious about this kind of stuff. So it looks like if you are using a smartphone on a rental bicycle, and just because you're a tourist, you need to know this information. Cycling under the influence of alcohol, 3 years imprisonment, 500,000 yen fine. Not to mention, if you were to cause injury, this could be a lot worse for you. It happens all the time. Japan is one of the most crowded countries in the world, actually mostly just in the cities, but Japan is one of the most Tokyo is one of the most crowded cities in the world. Osaka sometimes feels even more crowded than that. So it's not easy, and the bike paths are awful. So a lot of people are riding on the sidewalks. If you're using a smartphone or you're under the influence of alcohol and they nab you, or you hit somebody, and if you hit somebody, chances are you're going to get the police called on you. There's cameras all over the place. They're going to find you. Just ask Johnny Somali. They found him. That guy spent some significant time, was it like 3 months in jail, sort of in a limbo. He wasn't even charged, I don't think, and he was just sitting there waiting, and they kept extending it. It's pretty rough here. And because they're trying to crack down on this, I'm just giving you some public service information here. If you do intend to ride a bicycle, just understand, put your smartphone away. Now the question is going to be undoubtedly, what about smartphone holders, okay? Gosh, this is such a beautiful day. Look at this. It's just so wonderful. That's Rainbow Bridge over there. I'm in Toyosu. It's so nice out there. That's a boat just cruising there. What about smartphone holders? Can you get a holder, attach it to your handlebars and put the smartphone there and use that for navigation? The simple answer is no. The police have been telling people that, and this goes contrary. I asked ChatGPT as well here. I said, no manual operation of smartphones while you're riding. This includes typing, swiping, interacting. They'll catch you. Smartphone holders, smartphones must be secured to a holder attached to the bicycle so it doesn't obstruct your view. Apparently number 2 is wrong. I'm gonna look into this some more, but you can't have a smartphone holder. You can't be looking closely at any screen. You must be looking forward. Specific rules that can vary slightly by prefecture, but the new laws, I don't think that the ChatGPT is on the ball here with that information. Of course, it's AI is a little bit slow in this case. But yeah, please don't have a smartphone holder, or at least don't look at it. Best advice to you, just stop your bicycle, look at it, get your bearings, and then go along. And even if you have to snake, go little by little. Don't pick your smartphone out of your pocket, look at it unless you have stopped the operation of the bicycle. I think it's like common sense stuff, and they're trying to get ahead of this. This is a 21st century problem that I think is just going to get worse and worse. But when we have maybe the smart glasses that are more or less on the horizon now, we're going to see, I think Marquise Brownlee put a video about some of the stuff that's coming down the pipeline. That might be something that people can use, where there's a virtual reality, augmented reality smartphone map that you can navigate from if you're riding your bicycle. But right now we are still not there. You're still going to get hit with these penalties, and it doesn't matter that you're a tourist. You can't play that card anymore. You know why? Because you played it too much. Tourists have been playing that card so much, in particular in Tokyo and Osaka and Kyoto. They don't let you off the hook anymore. They just simply don't let you off the hook. There's no reason for you to know. Rob CD is going to have a hard time now. Maybe. The thing is that in order for you to have a hard time, you have to get caught. And I'm the kind of person, the older I get, the more I get a son now, so I want to try to do everything I can. I don't cross on a red light, even if there's not a car coming, because he's watching me. And kids are very observant. You don't swear, you don't do bad things in front of your kids, because they will mimic and copy you, and they learn from you. So this is another thing. You can't take your smartphone out. I try to really hard to create the best habits that I possibly can, and it goes along in life. Habits that you have will follow you through, like making your bed. Who makes their bed? Raise your hand. Well, do you still make your bed? If you didn't make your bed as a kid, there's a good chance you probably don't make your bed as an adult. But if you made your bed as a kid, there's a good chance that you probably are doing that today. So making sure that you have the those good habits help. But bicycling in Japan, it's really safe. And I'm actually on one of the best places to do it. This is Toyosu. And all along this man-made island, you see this brick path behind me? It's really wide. You could bicycle all around the Toyosu fish market in the back. So if you're gonna come to Toyosu, which is the Tsukiji of 2020, they moved out here about 6-7 years ago now. It's been a while. This area is wonderful for bicycling. I know you're gonna come here by the train. I'm telling you right now, it's much better if you get a bicycle and bicycle around the Toyosu market. And today, on there aren't any helmet laws. So I think it's just for kids, but adults don't have to have helmets, because if you're riding the city streets, you probably should have a helmet. I'll be honest with you. It can be dangerous out there, and particularly if you're not sure about the area. I recommend that you get a helmet, but there's no helmet laws. You can see that there are people that are riding, the lady just passed me, she's not riding a helmet. I don't ride a helmet. I don't go very fast. I'm not in traffic, but there's no law for helmets. That could change as well. The bicycle rental places, the ones they have smart, there's one from Docomo where you can rent them for a couple of dollars. I think it's a couple of dollars, and they rent it by the hour. I think you can touch your Suica, but you have to register to the app or something. You can get these almost all over the city, these red bicycles. It doesn't come with a helmet, so you don't need to have a helmet in order to have that bicycle. If they did, that would change the laws. That would change their bicycle rental business for sure. It's hard to get without a Japanese credit card, right? It's an art. That could be also an issue. I think they used to have digital currency. There has to be a way where you could use your credit cards and charge it up, but you know, it's always going to be changing. But the rental bicycles, I haven't seen too many tourists using them, but the Uber Eats and the Grab Bicyclist, I see a lot of the people who are trying to earn money to buy a new bicycle will be using the rental bicycles to do that. They're battery assisted, so they get a little bit of a boost to it. But the most interesting thing I thought was when they do these kinds of laws, they're very analytical with why they made these changes. And the news brought up the speed of Trevor was gifted 30. Well, thank you very much, Walter, for gifting the memberships here. I appreciate that. I'm gonna see if I can scroll through this. Towards the end of it, they showed you the graph of how the accidents are going up here. But more than that, they show you this, because of the battery assisted bicycles, the speed is going up. And the speed of the bicycles is also a reason why they want to get rid of the smartphones. And people are going faster. There's a higher percentage chance that there's going to be a worse injury, and people cannot stop suddenly as much as they used to because they're going faster as a result. Look at these people, even on the smartphone holders, that is no good. You're looking at the smartphone and it's got to be in your pocket now. The best way to do it is to stop and use it and go to the side of the road, make sure you're in a safe spot. But the police are informing all the moms. You can see there's one right here. All the dads, all the people, all the commuters. You can't have your smartphones. Helmet should be mandatory. I agree with you. Maybe they should be. Right now they're not in Japan. Most people have these low bar mamacharis. They're built on the Dutch system of bicycling that everybody seems to have. You'll see some of them coming here. This has become the old grumpy man channel. Well, Art, I guess if safety is, you know, just gonna have to put it out there. If you don't know about the rules, you're not gonna have a chance. You're gonna get fined and you're gonna get in trouble. And I think, yeah, I guess it could be if you want to look at it that way. You could look at it as the channel to save you money, the channel to save you time dealing with the authorities. Lots of things that you can look at it, Art. It's nice to see you here anyways. Beautiful view. I'll take all this stuff on directly. Today if you are in Tokyo, there is a really nice Toyosu Ichiba, which is the festival here. I saw this in the subway station. It's a festival for the Toyosu fish market. They have it on the backside of the market there. There's a map on the bottom. It's only today. And I thought today, it's sunny. I'm gonna take a break from editing it because it's just too nice out there. You see that yellow area is the Kaiba, the event area. And I'm gonna go check it out real quickly. I think you gotta I don't know if you have to get a ticket or anything like that, but it might be interesting. Might be interesting. With more and more tourists coming in here, there's a lot of stuff that you need to know, and I think you are not impervious. You're not, what is the word? You're under the same laws that I am, and as well as all the Japanese. And this is a big one. This is a big one because, you know, if you were caught riding under the influence, they pretty much just gave you a warning. Those warnings are over. And what I'm seeing is that because there are more and more tourists here, they're going to get fined as well as with the locals, and not knowing is not an excuse anymore. And I want to bring you that information. Take your questions. In any case, you don't want to have any legal problems as a tourist. That's the point. I had a really good friend here. This is about 8 years ago. He was in Roppongi, and he tried to fly a drone in Roppongi. And actually the location, if you look on the map, was really close to the Russian embassy. That's not so smart. The police, within 30 seconds, let's just say a minute. He said, this is his report, he said within a minute he heard cop cars coming, and he didn't know if it was for him or what. So he brought the drone down, he put it away, and he walked into a Starbucks. They still found him. He was hiding I wouldn't say hiding. He was hiding in the corner. I guess if you say hiding, it makes it more fun. Well, he's in the corner of the Starbucks trying to drink a coffee and stay out of the way. But somehow they found him, I guess. They had video cameras all over the area there. They knew what he looked like. And they confiscated his drone. This was 8 years ago. They didn't fine him, which I thought was shocking. But they said he could get his drone back in 3 months. He had the Mavic 2 when it was brand new. So that's like a $2,000 drone. So he had a friend go into the police station to try to get the drone for him, but they wouldn't give it back to him. Then I think he went in person when he came back to Japan, and they wouldn't give the drone. It was destroyed. So I'm just gonna say right now, the last thing you want to do is to get in trouble with the authorities. But more than the drone, if you do get in trouble with the police here, you are going to waste a day. And he ended up spending about 13 hours in the police station just sitting there. And the time that you lose because you're at the police station talking about stuff, waiting for one officer to refer you to another officer, to refer you to another as they make a report, and maybe even take a mug shot. I don't know how bad things get for misdemeanors. I believe they take a mug shot and fingerprint you even for that kind of stuff. I don't know. But in the end, it was a pretty waste of time, a big waste of time, and he had a very limited amount of time here. Not what you want to do here. They'll get translators. You're gonna have to wait in the police station as they find a translator that can translate for you. That can take hours. If not, you just sit there. So the last thing you want to do is to get in trouble with authorities in Japan. And the more we see this stuff happening, and the more people get frustrated with that 1% of the bad tourists, the more this stuff kind of happens here. Just a reality. Japanese prisons don't look so bad. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? They're not good. No prison is good. You don't want to be in it. Well, number one, you don't get rights. Let's talk about detention and holding. Those aren't prisons. These are places where people have died while being processed to be deported. There was a woman from Nepal. NHK World brought this story, which I thought was really interesting. She died in the custody of detention. I think waiting for asylum or an overstayed visa, but they wouldn't give her medication. Basically, you get not enough food. They give you black and white TVs, which is probably worse than having no TV. They give you enough. Like, they're psychological about this. They give you enough, they take away enough of the luxury stuff that you're used to, but they make it really irritating to you that you don't want it anymore. The amount of calories that you get also is right on the border or underneath it, so you always are a little bit, I don't know, malnourished. It's good food, but it's always like on the border of the amount of calories that you probably should have. So they find ways to really make you pay the price. It's not just in the, the fact that maybe the temperature is colder than normal or it's hotter than normal, like little teeny things that just really eat at you. Like if you play what is it, that Clans game on your iPhone, there's the bat attack where the bats start biting away at the cannon until it breaks apart. Sort of that kind of a thing. And anyone who's playing that game, Clans of something or other, will know what I mean. I kind of messed around with that before. Don't go there in prison. It's not like the movies, man. Think about your family. You're going to be traumatized by it. Redbeard writes in here. You don't want to go to prison here. There's a reason why Johnny Somali did not come back here. He went to Korea, and you don't want to go to prison there either. It wears you down over time to break you. Absolutely. Clash of Clans, yeah. There's like these bats that the wizards will summon, and they will swarm, and they will eat the cannons. And I don't know how a bat eating a cannon destroys it, but like they do that to you in like prison. So it's like that. WRX Turbo is in the house. How you doing? Don't go there for that. So before we leave here, those joining us here, this has been big news in Japan. I think it's just good to bring it to you. Don't get your smartphone out when you ride a bicycle. This is from Kyoto News. People caught will get $650 fine. That's pretty significant. And if they cause an accident, it goes up. And basically, if you cause an accident, you're not just going to feel bad about it, but it's going to really rip a dent in it. And I don't know how you pay as a foreigner, but if you can't pay, then you're going to serve time in jail. I think it's something like that. And you might get sued as well. I'll put this out here. If you cause damage, there's a good chance you get sued too by the people for medical bills. It's never the same amount as you would get sued in the United States, but it's enough where it really hurts you. It's enough that you could pay. 1.15 milligrams of alcohol per liter of breath face prison terms up to 3 years. And you should go to prison if you're riding under the influence on a bicycle. I've just seen too many accidents. I've seen too many people get hit by bicycles just riding around Tokyo. I've seen people at night. And that means, basically what this means is at night, you're going to see more people stopped by police officers at night for checking to see if you're under the influence. Shortly after the law took effect, the Osaka Prefecture Police said Friday they already had issued a red ticket to a cyclist under the influence of alcohol and investigating 6 other cases. So this is already going on here. 295 accidents caused by cyclists. They just want to cut that down to 0. And they're never going to get it perfect. But again, if you can save lives and cut it down, this is the way Japan operates. And I think it's important that you understand that. And this has been in the news in English for quite a while. And if it's the first time you're hearing this, I think it's a good idea that you just understand it and maybe pass this around. You can't ride around, pub hopping in this. You probably shouldn't be getting drunk anyways in a foreign country, but if you do, this is probably the safest place to do it. Yeah, I don't even know if they have body cams in Japan. Maybe somebody can talk about that today. All right, everybody, that's all I have for you. I wanted to give you a heads up on this. There's a couple of other things happening in the news. I understand we don't want this to be a grumpy old man channel, but this kind of information I think needs to be passed along to people that are visiting Japan. You need to know what some of the laws are, and I'm not going to stop doing that on this channel. I love that comment, Art. Now I'm focused on it. It's like a warning shot. I get it. I understand how you guys feel about it. But again, how I think that maybe these public service announcements can be things that I can do inside of other episodes, perhaps. But I think if the headlines say warning, then be ready for this, then people are more apt to understand it just by reading the headlines. The idea of this is just to save you guys from having a little bit of trouble here, because I love riding a bicycle in Japan. Just I can't do it. I can't do it with a smartphone. I'm guilty of it too. I take out my smartphone all the time, and now that I see the news, I'm gonna I don't know what you can do. Maybe you can have a voice navigation, but I guess if you're an Uber Eats driver, there's permits that you could possibly get. It's a lot of gray area right now. But if you can't get the directions, and then you can't obviously do your job, right? How are you supposed to get from A to B? So I'm sure that there's a workaround where people can get permits, or they can get licensed, or they have to take a test to understand the laws that they can't focus on the smartphone. And if you have a permit, then that allows you to get off real easily if they stop you. I don't know what's going on, but just stuff that's good to know. And anyways, it's an excuse for me to be outside and to say hi to everybody, because it's been a couple of days since I did the live stream. Yeah. Good time if you are in Japan to go to Yamadera. This is last year, but from Yamadera and Yamagata Prefecture, you can see at this time, this is exactly 1 year ago. This episode is the next episode to come out on the Only Japan main channel next week. I talk about the mailman who delivers 1,000 steps every single day, almost every single day, to pick up the mail and to deliver mail to the residents of the hill on Yamadera. So this was a neat way to see Yamadera, which is one of the most beautiful spots. This lookout tower from the temple, one of the most beautiful spots in all of Japan. And yeah, I would definitely encourage you guys to get on the Shinkansen and go check out Yamadera on the other side of Japan, on the Sea of Japan side, more or less. Yamagata Prefecture just as a little slice, Sakata, that's on the Sea of Japan side. But you can see there's my camera where I was filming the main channel episode. But beautiful. Beautiful at sunset. Nobody was there except for that dude that was coming here. So thank you for the gifted subscriptions out there and for the super chats. Love you guys very much. I'll try to take you out. Trevor Beck, good idea for a vending machine trip. I'm trying to do a midnight snack run, Trevor. So let's get moving on that. I appreciate it so much. Got to get out there. Oh, and my friend David is here from David and Ellis. I want to see if David will bring us into his accommodation. He has a monthly rental in the Ueno region. He's here for a month and he got an apartment instead of getting a hotel. I think this is fantastic. He picked up his keys at the airport. It was like the most very easy to go process. So I think this is something more people might be really interested in. So let's see if David can get on here. I think he's in Kawaguchi this week. If we can take a look inside of his apartment, which is facilitated by Japan Airlines, which I thought was cool, despite the fact that he flew ANA in here. Let's take a look inside of his apartment. So we got some stuff here. Midnight Run. I don't know if it's Midnight Run is back, but maybe Midnight Snack Run. Maybe light on the snacks, more on the run. Midnight snacks are not good for you, but hey, I think maybe once a month we can bring this back here, and it's been a while. I think I'm doing okay with the diet, maybe too much, so a midnight snack might not be bad every now and then. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the day. Get outside, get some sun, put your smartphones away. And if you're on a bicycle, definitely put your smartphones away, because, you know, we want you to use that money to buy some food and stuff. Buy some famichiki. There you go, Blue. Thanks, see you guys. Mata ne. Satrio's on the ball there.